gotta go potty.
Hello and welcome back to the podcast. My name is Becky and this is the show where we take true ghost stories and go poking around in the shadows for what's really going on. Now you have to excuse me, I sound out of breath. I'm not. There is something going on. I think it's hay fever, but you just have to bear with me. So we are going to talk today about the latest episode. I'm sure you've heard Kathryn's story. And if you didn't, go and have a listen to it. It's brilliant. It's 3 stories in one. So go listen to that first, or none of this will make sense and you'll think you've lost the plot. This week's episode is all about breaking down those stories, because what happened to Kathryn wasn't just a one-off little fright. This has been a few years of intense, bizarre, genuinely frightening stuff happening to her and her family. She's never publicly spoken about it before and never told a thing to anyone until now. And she's been so generous in opening up and letting us into her experience. So today I want to unpack it with you and see what it might mean, why this kind of thing happens and how we can all make sense of the things that don't make sense. So let's start at the beginning. The house, the Tudor beams, the freezing cold, it's full of character and apparently full of something else too. What hit me the hardest wasn't the ghosts at first, it was the way the house seemed to drain them. Her husband suddenly depressed, Kathryn feeling exhausted, sick, barely able to function. That's not just bad vibes, that's an environment feeding off you. And then there's the classic signs, cold rooms, doors knocking on their own, the weird weight in the air. That's not new. Loads of people who've lived in haunted homes describe that same slow spiral. You think you're just tired until you realise your boiler's working perfectly, but you can still see your breath in the kitchen. It's like the house needed their energy and it was taking it however it could. So here's the question. Do houses remember us? Do certain places just absorb pain or grief or violence and hold it? I think it's called the stone tape theory. Is it true? Because Kathryn's house didn't just feel haunted. It felt alive. Now let's talk about the kids, because this part chilled me. Each of her 3 daughters at different times described the same figure, a woman in black sitting silently, no face. That's not imagination, that's consistency. And with kids, it's often raw and unfiltered. They don't have mental blocks like adults do. They just see what they see. Why is it always the children who pick up on this stuff first? I think kids are porous. They haven't built up the emotional scar tissue we do. So if anything is lurking in the house as an energy, a presence, it goes straight to the ones who are most open to feeling it. Some adults are like this too, don't get me wrong. It's interesting that this ghost wasn't threatening at first, just there, watching, sitting, waiting. Super creepy. But imagine being 8 years old and seeing that. Would you ever sleep again? Let me know. Do your kids talk about things that they've seen? Or did you see things as a kid? Let me know in the comments or message me. I would love to hear it. If you do want to contact me, the email address is thedarklingchronicles25@gmail.com, or you can message me on Instagram, which is just @thedarklingchronicles. You can find a way to message me somehow. Even on TikTok, you can jump on there and follow me and message me on there too. So the dog, the door, and the final straw, the moment with the big black dog, that's something straight out of folklore. In fact, in British ghost lore, there's a legend of a black shuck, a spectral dog often seen before tragedy. Kathryn saw it once, she blinked and it was gone. Now Kathryn's absolutely fine. I think that it's probably just unrelated in this instance, but it's interesting that people do see a big black dog. Some people say that it's demonic. In this situation, it felt like just the dog, but then we had the neighbour who told her that the original owners had the black dog. And it's like the past just seeped into the present for a moment. Then there's the door locking with the toddler inside. And not just locked, jammed shut with really heavy doors with rusted locks. The fire brigade couldn't open it, and that's not just a draft. And then the daughter being thrown across the bathroom, physically lifted and hurled. That's when Kathryn listed the house. Didn't even tell her husband. I don't blame her. Then we've got the orbs, paralysis and protection. The second wave of memories Kathryn sent me, they were different, less poltergeist, more personal, almost spiritual. She saw a black orb. She floated above her body. She tried to scream but couldn't move, and then felt a gentle hand holding hers when her husband had already left for work. I find it fascinating. There's a theory that intense hauntings do attract multiple entities, some of which are negative and some are protective. It's completely possible that one was trying to harm while the other was trying to help. What's your take on sleep paralysis? Is it all brain chemistry or is it something deeper? I've had messages from listeners who swear their sleep paralysis came with teeth and claws, and I've heard so many stories, and I've actually experienced something myself with sleep paralysis that scared the life out of me. I personally believe it's spiritual and something is attacking you, but I know there's a lot of scientific minds out there, so I'm open to all perspectives on it. Please send me yours. You can write in the comments, or you can send me an email, thedarklingchronicles25@gmail.com. The holiday haunting. So her niece on holiday was pinned down by something invisible. She couldn't scream. She felt physically violated. Her parents had to try and break into the room, and she finally escaped. Visible marks, scratches, a bite. No one could explain it, and the weirdest part is she came back from that trip pregnant. Now, no one's suggesting it was a supernatural conception, but it's uncanny, isn't it? The energy, the timing, the trauma, all connected. And the hotel manager didn't laugh it off. She believed them, tried to help, which to me says maybe this kind of thing has happened more often than we think. So here's what I want to ask today. What do we do with stories like this? Kathryn's experience is terrifying, yes, but also valid. It changed her, it shaped her family, and she's not alone. Many of us, maybe even you, have had moments you can't explain but have never shared because you thought people would think I'm mad. You're not mad, you're human, and if you've experienced something strange, this podcast is a safe space where you can say, this happened, I don't know why, but it did happen, and we can talk about your story. You can remain anonymous if you want to send me your ghost story, by the way. I don't have to mention you at all. This is more about getting the stories out there. So I want to try something new for the podcast, and it's called Ghost Story Hotline. So I want us to build the space together. This is your official invitation to share your story. All you have to do is leave a voice note. You can email me your voice note. You can send me a message on Instagram at the Darkling Chronicles. You can find me on there and send me a message, send me a voice note on there. Tell me your true ghost story, sleep paralysis, haunted house, weird coincidence, whatever it may be. And I'll start sharing them on my podcast right here. And it's funny because you never know who's had a similar experience until you speak up. So many stories have influenced other people to message me saying, I actually saw something similar to that and it freaked me out. So let's find out what you guys think about it. Let's read some of the comments that are on my TikTok page. If you've got TikTok, head over to at the Darkling Chronicles, give me a follow. It really helps me out. So I tell the stories on my TikTok page and you've interacted with them. So we're going to read the comments. Helen has put, oh my God, can't wait for part 2. Sounds like the husband was being taken over by something evil. Totally agree there, Helen. Debs writes, wow, I'd be so scared moving out ASAP. Same Debs. And thank you for always commenting, Debs, and supporting. Massive shout out to you. Really appreciate you. People have written, oh my God, I need a part 2 immediately. I need a part 2 and I knew exactly what part 2 was. Helen's written again on here saying, this is the most terrifying story I think you've ever shared. Sounds like a horror film. And now we've got to wait for part 3. No. Stephanie has wrote, I am the daughter and I can honestly say I still sleep with the light on at 32 years of age. I still remember this lady like it was yesterday and every part of the story is 100% true. So we have it from the horse's mouth. This is Kathryn's daughter telling us that the story is true. How incredible is that? Tanya's wrote, that poor family, even though I had creepy experiences growing up, I've never been locked in or had anything hurt me, but wow. Elaine says, I brought my children up in a pair of Victorian workers' cottages with oak beams and inglenook fireplaces. Idyllic, yes. When we sold it, my daughter was 8 and she told me she'd always seen a little girl at the end of her bed. I did say to her, well, it was built in 1847, someone's got to have died there. She was not scared of the ghost. These stories have been really popular on the TikTok page. Thank you again to Kathryn for sending them to me, for being so brave. I really appreciate it. And while we're here, I just want to give a little shout out to the Ghost family who always comment and who always support me. So thank you so much to Helen. Thank you so much to Kathryn. Thank you to Debs who always comments on everything. Thank you to Tanya. I appreciate you. Thank you so much to Sarah Kay, Welsh Sarah, for always listening, for always sharing my TikTok page with her friends. You guys just make it such a joy to actually share stories on here. So thank you. Massive thank you from me. And if you go to my page, comment, I read them all. I try to reply to everything that I can. Listen, I wanted to create a space where you can read the ghost stories as well as listen to them. So I created a website, the stories on there, which I will be updating all the time. So you can go in and read other people's stories if you want to. I've got a little bit about me on there. But most importantly, I've got some merch on there as well, which you can buy, which I have tried to keep at a really good price. I only make a couple of quid on them. But I thought it's really important that as a family, as a ghost family, we have things that we can wear. I've actually just ordered some myself. I love them. I've tried to pick some really good quality bits and bobs for you. And like I say, I've kept it at a really good price. I'm not being greedy because I hate it when people are like that. So go to the website www.tdc25.com, have a little look. There's t-shirts, there's sweatshirts, there's hoodies, there's mugs. So that's it for this episode. Thank you for listening to the Darkling Chronicles, and thanks again to Kathryn and to all of you for being part of this show, for messaging me, for commenting. I couldn't be more grateful. If you've got a story to tell me, if you've got a theory to argue with me, and if you've got a haunted house, I would say I'll visit, but I won't. Please email me thedarklingchronicles25@gmail.com, and you can find me also on Instagram and on TikTok at the Darkling Chronicles. My Instagram isn't built up yet, so just bear with me. But if you want to send me an audio for the ghost story hotline, go to Instagram. TikTok won't let you share one for some reason. But if you want to write me a message, you can get me anywhere: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and also the email address I provided. So for more Ghost Tea, where we spill the gossip on all things ghosts, please follow for more. Thank you so much for listening. Have a beautiful day, and I'll catch up with you soon.